for more analysis on this conference, we're joined by the one and only. This is how you know we're in the height of a conference. You know, exciting stuff is happening whenever we have you in studio. We're joined by Dr. Sthembile Mbete. She's the Director of Programs at Future Elect. So, Day 2 of the ANC's National Policy Conference. Lots of people, of course, walking around with, we're so tired of this party, we're so tired of whatever they have to say. And unfortunately, it's really an expression of a sentiment that shows the extent to which South Africans continue to lose hope in this movement. These delegates want to be able to revive those hopes again. Your view on how much work actually lies ahead for this party?
Whew. Well, how long do you have? Look, I think there's a great deal of frustration with the ANC, and part of it is that the party just seems to be out of ideas about what to do to address the very big problems that South Africa is facing: inequality, unemployment, violence, particularly violence against women and children, and this constant existential security threat that people face in their daily lives, but also that we saw with the July unrest last year, that there seems to be this big national security threat that the state just doesn't seem capable of addressing. We still don't know exactly who organized the unrest last year. No one has been really held accountable for it. And so when the ANC then meets here at Nasrec, this big gathering, a whole production with so much security, there's police, there's some military that are here as well. All of the journalists come and set up these nice pretty studios. I put on nice clothes and put on my makeup to be here. It feels like fiddling, basically, while Rome is burning, because these policy discussions, we've heard that the aim is not really to create new policy, but to review the policy that already exists and to determine how best to implement it going forward. That isn't where the real work needs to be. The people that, the work needs to be, do we have enough policemen to keep our people secure and safe? Are our hospitals being run properly? Is our education system functioning? Who needs to fix that? These are the real issues that concern people. What are we going to do with so many unemployed youth in this country? A recent study showed that a vast majority of those who are getting the 350 rand are people with tertiary qualifications. That is terrifying. And so that somebody can have had more than 12 years of education and can't get a job and needs to rely on 350 rand from the government. I mean, these are big problems. These are big challenges. And it just feels frustrating that in these sorts of talk shops, the party doesn't seem to realize the urgency of the crises that are facing South Africa.
It seems to me that the ANC is facing multiple challenges when it comes to its deployees and its members. Not just its deployees in government, but also just the behavior of its members. This is a party that seemingly cannot or is not in control of the actions of its members and does not know how to rein them in. You talk about the issue of safety and security, and very clearly the ANC highlights the insurrection of 2021 July as being a key indicator of just how bad a state the security apparatus of this country is. It fingers its own members in that, but nobody has been held accountable.
Exactly.
It doesn't call its members and say, you were part of the reason why the democracy of this country was undermined. It doesn't seem to know how to do that.
No, it doesn't. And as the Treasurer General said when he was speaking to you, there really doesn't seem to be a systematic, thought-out process of what do we do about those of our members who were part of organizing or instigating the unrest that we saw in July last year. How effective are our disciplinary processes? And I understand what he said about the disciplinary processes needing to be private, or, you know, in order to protect people's privacy. But he couldn't also then say whether they have actually been used for the unrest or for people who were implicated in state capture. How that is communicated to the rest of the country doesn't seem to be clearly on the agenda. And the disciplinary process, or the processes that the public does have a view on, the Integrity Commission, for example, just seem to be really toothless. And this issue of consequence management, how do you hold people accountable, your members accountable, your leaders accountable when they do the wrong thing? And how do you get them out of the party and out of the system so that they won't continue to do the wrong thing? Is something that the party really struggles with.
Here's what's going to be interesting. What is being put on the table is that the party will now consider a different type of criteria when vetting ANC members, right? Especially when onboarding new members. Now, is this policy going to apply retrospectively? Is everybody who's a member now of the ANC going to be vetted against the same criteria? What happens when some of the ANC's top officials also don't meet the criteria of what it takes to be a member of the organization?
Exactly. And for a party that, at least in theory or in rhetoric, prizes itself on having internal democracy, what does that mean for the people who have been chosen by your existing members to be in leadership if they don't meet the cut? And what about those people who have organized at branch level, who do a whole lot of work to keep the structures of the party going? Are you then just going to chuck all of them because they don't meet these criteria? What does that say about the democratic processes of the ANC?